Hey there friends, what's going on? It's Kodiak here and welcome back to another Far Cry 6 video. The leaks were right. I always love when a good leak is right because we were just a couple hours ahead of Ubisoft Forward and they did in fact reveal that the Far Cry 6 Season Pass is going to go deep into 3 of the most badass villains in the franchise. I mean, honestly, the Far Cry villains are just fantastic. I know some people have some problems with them and I get it. But if you look across the gaming landscape, the Far Cry villains have always been pretty damn good, pretty top-notch, and I'm really excited that they're leaning into this. Instead of doing something crazy like zombies or Mars like they did in Far Cry 5, they're leaning into the story components of these villains. And I'm really excited that we can finally show this and look at the trailer together and talk about it because we couldn't do that ahead of Ubisoft Forward. We would have gotten flagged, we would have gotten taken down. So let's dive into it now. Let us take a look at the Far Cry 6 Season Pass. And man, you guys are going to love this.
What is going on?
Starting right off the bat strong with Vaas.
My, what a happy family.
Switching to Pagan.
Roger, tell your mother and sister to...
You are alive.
Some weird stuff going on here with the Bliss. I love it, man.
Peekaboo, motherfucker.
So awesome. You are Vaas. Completely twisted Rook Islands. You are Pagan.
Who isn't afraid to slaughter to get what he wants. In my way.
That iconic pen.
Is this a test? A dream?
Look at that up in the sky there. Hopefully you caught that.
Then I will not waste it.
Just everything is so twisted. Oh my gosh, absolutely brutal there with the Bible.
The definition of insanity.
Yes. So great. So great. And to lean into that line, did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? And for anybody that's never played this, Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon. So cool that this is coming to Far Cry 6. Just like if you never played this, you get to enjoy it. I think that's really awesome. And let's just dial it back here because honestly, this is one of the smartest DLC season passes I think Ubisoft has ever done. You're tapping into the storytelling. You're tapping into the things that the fans love. You're not trying to do something wildly different while still doing something wildly different. I think that is incredible. And we will mute it here so we can kind of talk over everything. So we start right off the bat with Vaas. And I think, again, very smart. Vaas is one of those iconic villains, probably the most iconic villain in all of Far Cry. But that's not to say that he's the only villain in Far Cry, right? We switch right here to Pagan Min and taking a picture on the phone. And I really like the change of perspective. We're showing kind of the protagonists and the backgrounds of these things. And I think that's really smart. I do. Now, when we switch over to Joseph Seed, the thing that's funny, and I talked about this in one of our videos recently about how Far Cry 5, the big problem with that game was that they didn't do anything to the protagonist. You were literally no named, no acting, like you couldn't even flip the camera because you had no identity. And I thought that was a huge issue with Far Cry 5. But look at this. We know about Bliss from Far Cry 5. Look at what it's doing to Joseph Seed. So this is kind of our first real indication that something is going astray. Something is just going wrong, or that this is just going to be an absolutely twisted experience. And I love that. Taking these different worlds. This was obviously a theme here in Far Cry 3. Taking that, flipping it on its head, and then all of a sudden, boom, we've got our protagonist from Far Cry 3 flipping the script, and now he's our nemesis, our adversary. This is who we're going up against. I think it's just really cool. It's really smart, and you're not really reinventing the wheel, and I think that's pretty cool. So we're looking at all of these different environments from the games. This is the Rook Islands, but clearly something's going wrong here. We got somebody almost possessed up here in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. those famous greenhouses. Look at this. On the right-hand side of the screen, we've got sharks flying. I mean, there is clearly something going on, and it's all about, I think, the mind, what the players, what the villains are going to be going through. I think that's really the angle they took with each of these DLCs, and I'm really excited about that. So then we've got Pagan Min, maybe almost tapping into that one thing about them that was kind of their overarching theme. So for Pagan Min, it was kind of this delusions of grandeur, right? So we see this beautiful gold statue and just ornate from top to bottom, and how that all unravels. I would be really interested to see how that, and you can even see that here, this gold city behind him. We've got all these Technicolors here. We've got this gold city behind him, just really leaning into the different themes of each of these villains. And then, of course, with Joseph Seed, we've got that kind of, that idea that he is the chosen one. And we see this kind of, I don't know what this is. It almost looks like the cross from that was kind of present throughout all of the Children of Eden and stuff like that, but it's electrified, so hard to say exactly what this is. Bring in the guns here. We're taking on some sort of almost like mad, what is it? Donnie Darko looking character here for anybody that knows Donnie Darko. Really interesting. We see some of the gunplay, and here it is. The mind is, and just look at what's going on in the background. We've got floating deer. We've got floating deer people, almost like Wrath of the Druids characters there from Assassin's Creed. And then we have things just kind of unfolding. We've got the Bible or a book back here with a staircase leading up. We've got this church, and I mean, it's just, this is delusions of grandeur all the way, right? His famous throne that he sits on, all decked out in gold, but he's a hologram. What is going on here? It's really hard to say. Very clearly that these characters, these villains, are going unhinged. This is a Vaas scene, obviously. You see the eyeballs everywhere, and then we're almost in this kind of like the arteries of a tree. Everything looks bloody, but it's very clearly a tree. You see the outlines of a face here. I mean, I'm just really interested in this right off the bat because it's so different. Check out this scene. This one's crazy. This takedown here with the Bible and then breaking the neck. And let's slowly go through these because this is very quick. So these are some of the characters from Far Cry 5. These are the two brothers and then the sister here around. It looks like Joseph is dead in that scene. We've got a doorway in the middle of nowhere. Another shot of that book. The book is closing. Just really weird themes across the board. And then, of course, do you know the definition of insanity? Absolutely iconic line. And I'm really about this. I am. I know a lot of people are not on the fence with Far Cry 6. That's fine. You don't have to be. I'm going to remain cautiously optimistic, as I usually do with big game releases. And I am genuinely excited to see what they do here. This is very outside the box while still being inside the box. And that is always a really challenging thing to do. And I'm excited for it. So the Far Cry 6 Season Pass has been revealed. What do you guys think? As always, let's get a conversation going in the comments section. I read every single comment that comes through the channel. So does Livid. So if you guys want to start a conversation, you know what to do. Leave your thoughts down below. And if you guys like these videos and you want more Far Cry 6 in your feeds, help us out, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to support us here at Legacy Gaming. And of course, we'll never say no to some support. As always, friends, my name is Kodiak. Thank you so much for watching, and play on.